अस्सलाम वालेकुम व्यूअर्स, वेलकम बैक टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल वारिस टेक और मैं हूं आपका दोस्त, आपका होस्ट वारिस। व्यूअर्स, मैं आपको खुशामदीद कहता हूं अपने चैनल में। आपका आज का जो हम आपसे टॉपिक डिस्कस करेंगे वो है व्हाट इज़ द बेस्ट वे टू स्ट्रक्चर अ ब्लॉग यूआरएल। वीडियो स्टार्ट करने से पहले व्यूअर्स आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि अगर आपने हमारा चैनल अब तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो सबसे पहले हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लें, बेल आइकन को दबा दें ताकि हमारी इन्फॉर्मेटिव वीडियोज़ आप तक पहुँचती रहें। तो व्यूअर्स, वीडियो को एंड तक देखना लाजमी देखिएगा। और आज का हमारा टॉपिक स्टार्ट करते हैं जो कि है व्हाट इज़ द बेस्ट वे टू स्ट्रक्चर अ ब्लॉग यूआरएल। I wrote an article about how to structure your blog, but one important element that I did not include in that post was paying attention to the blog URL itself and how you should present it. I felt that this topic needed an article in its own right. This article is for you if you are regularly publishing blog articles but you are number 1 unsure as to whether your blog URL is optimized to its best, or you have reached the best way to structure the URL and are feeling overwhelmed by the amount of technical advice you have found and need a clear and concise answer you can understand and implement. The blog URL is something that often escapes people's attention when they are publishing their blog posts. In this article, I explain why you should pay attention to the structure of your blog URL and the best practices to adopt. Before we get started on the best practices, I am assuming if you are reading this you will already know that a URL is, but just to be sure, here is a quick reminder of what a URL looks like. Remember, a URL is the address of the specific web page. For example, HTTPS stands for a protocol. Domain name.co.uk, it's a domain name. And the color in blue, page dash post dash name, that is a path, and the whole is called URL. Okay, where does the blog URL come from? Before we get started, let's look at how a URL is generated. When you create a blog post or any web page for the matter, WordPress will auto generate a sludge. This sludge is not of the garden variety, thankfully, but instead it is the little title of the blog pulled across automatically to create the blog URL. The sludge uniquely defines the post or page of a website. It is just like the address of house on a street. Each web page is unique as each web page is in existence. When I created this article, my sludge by default looked like this. You might be thinking that looks okay, but already it's starting to look a bit long widened. If your blog title is much longer than this, then you can see how it would look cumbersome. So let's get stuck into finding out more about the best structure. What is the best way to structure a blog URL? Number one, starting by editing the URL before hitting the publish button. Before you do anything, you need to pay attention to editing the URL before you hit the publish button. In your blog preparation, along with creating the content, pulling together keywords, you need to decide that your blog URL is going to be. It is the better to edit the URL before you hit publish. If you do want to change the URL after you have published the blog, you can do so, but remember that you will need to set up a redirection of the original post to the amended post URL. Resource second is to keep the blog URL short and simple. Write your blog URL for human and search engine readability. Short and simple is better. As much as people want to know exactly what the article is about, so do search engines. According to the search research by Backlinko, they found short URLs ranked for better than long ones. A short URL gives a better understanding of your topic to the search engines. तो व्यूअर्स, आज का जो हमारा टॉपिक था जो डिस्कस किया आपके साथ वो था व्हाट इज़ द बेस्ट वे टू स्ट्रक्चर अ ब्लॉग यूआरएल। और उसके बाद हमने वेयर डज द ब्लॉग यूआरएल कम्स फ्रॉम हमने ये डिस्कस किया है, और व्हाट इज़ द बेस्ट वे टू स्ट्रक्चर अ ब्लॉग हमने ये 3 टॉपिक्स आज डिस्कस किए हैं। होप सो आज के टॉपिक आपको समझ आया होगा। मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट टॉपिक के साथ। अपना ख्याल रखिएगा। अल्लाह हाफिज़।